morning, Jacksonville, or I should say good morning, Florida. Cold, windy weather. I've got friends out of South Carolina, North Carolina that having to put up with all that snow coming through the Northeast. And yesterday, before this front got here, I went south. Of course, you know, this time of year. But I went just a little bit too far south. I thought the fish might have went on south. So after about 11:30, I come back up and I stopped at New Smyrna, and one of the bait shops there had called and said they had a gallon of fleas. So I was desperate. I tried early yesterday morning, 4 o'clock, catch fleas all the way down through Flagler, Ormond, Ormond Beach. No fleas at all for me. So they said they had fleas. So I went into the bait shop and they were all making fun of me because I had to come and buy fleas. All the guys that work there know said, I can't believe that Larry Finch is actually buying sand fleas. But anyway, they sold me a couple of cups. You know, they put a nice price on it, $14.99 instead of $15 for a cup of fleas. So I bought me a couple of cups. My friend Brian that fished with me, he only had 24, 25 sand fleas with him that he had caught. And I'd stop at each place and I'd catch one or two fleas. But anyway, the $15 sure paid off for me. These might be some of the ones I caught. There's a lot of small ones there, so I'm sure it is, because the ones they had were all nice big size like that. But anyway, I took live crabs with me. These I took from the fish market, and you know, that's a substitute for sand fleas. If I can't get live sand fleas, I use these crab knuckles, and that works good for me. But anyway, this is just an alternative bait when I don't have sand fleas. And you know, so pick them. And believe it or not, I even took some fresh shrimp. You know, combination. I had some of the guys, but with a fresh shrimp, all I caught really was small whiting. But you can see the size of these sand flea whiting here. You know. That's the ones I catch with the sand fleas. These whiting like this. And a lot of people probably, you know, didn't catch a lot of fish yesterday. If they don't have the bait, they don't catch them. But this is what the number one thing. The cast, they were on that outside bar. And I got so tired of having to make that long cast. I only used 2 rods because I was using my fleas sparingly. But anyway, if I threw 50 yards, I'd catch a whiting, you know, just inside the bar. If I threw 75 to 100 yards, I'd catch these pompano. And they were there. You can see the size of some of them. Still got the sand on them because I was catching them so fast. All that out. Just look at the quality of these nice big pretty pompano. And they were laying on an outside bar, so I moved 5 or 6 times, even though I'd catch one, just to find a bar that was closer, that I didn't have to throw so hard. That's the hard part. That's why I use the long rods and use light line, because I've got to be able to make that long cast sometime. And I talked to my friend in Melbourne, and he fished where I'd fished there a couple last week or week before last, and had one pompano, because I was going to go all the way to Melbourne. I didn't know we still had these, but I come back north into Volusia County, and these big old pompano were laying on that outside bar, and there must have been a big school, because every spot that I could cast to the outside bar, I would catch a pompano. But if I threw it in closer, I'd catch one of these big whiting. And it went on like that till I couldn't stand anymore. I quit. I had to come home. I'm not as young as I used to be. It takes a lot out of me. And not many people walking on the beach. If I'd have had somebody to videoed it, I'd got some nice videos of these big old fish. Because on a flat beach, they don't quit. If they're in an inch of water, they're still fighting. So I just have to drag them up on the beach. People come out of the motels and come down. And one of them said to me, "You must know what you're doing. We've been watching you from the room up there, and you catch a fish every time you throw out." And I said, "Well, that's what I do." But anyway, this wind is going to be 20, 30 mile an hour. For the next 2 or 3 days, I don't think we'll be catching fish. Hope we do. I need to catch more fish right now because the market needs them. I need to have the experience of catching them before they do go south. If this gets as cold as it, and that water gets down into the low 60s, these fish here that are just an hour and 10 minutes away will be gone. You know, that's all we need to do. If you don't mind making that 1 hour drive, it's better than sitting 4 hours and not catching. Make an hour's drive and only fish 3. So that's all I can say to you folks. If you want to catch fish, you got to make that little bit of trip. Some of the bait shops down there have got sand fleas. They're not cheap, but I figure a cup of sand fleas, gets me a couple of pompano on it. You know, that works out good for me. But anyway, look in this cooler here. Miss Murphy, show them what I got down in here. Look at them little quality whiting. Oh, there's my other bait I was looking for, clams. I was going to tell you I use clams also when I fishing for whiting and pompano. But anyway, this is the fish I caught yesterday, and pompano, whiting, nothing else, no junk fish at all. It's mostly good fish. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day, folks. We got some bad weather coming up here in the next 2 or 3 days, and I was going to show you. This is my signature shirt, but my wife had me some special pompano shirts made for Christmas, and she said I should sell these at the store. So if anybody would like to have I can probably get them in short and long sleeve. Got a pompano on. I don't wear shirts that's got a lot of advertising on it and stuff like that, because people know who I am. I'm a pompano fisherman, and I don't need to be having a bunch of stuff on my shirts. I've never been that kind of guy. Just a name tag, Florida Sportsman. When I traveled for them, I did wear one of their shirts, but it didn't have a lot of stuff on it, just Florida Sportsman. I enjoyed that. And I learned a lot, fished a lot of different places, and when I do my seminars, I'd always do a pre-fishing. They didn't want to know what I was catching in Jacksonville, so if we were having a show over in Tampa or Naples or Fort Myers, I'd go over there and fish the couple of days before so I could tell them what they could expect to catch in their area. I didn't want to not know what I was talking about when I'd go over there. So Fort Walton Beach was probably my favorite place to fish because there's pompano up there and sheephead and the whole works, all the things that I would talk about. But anyway, that's days gone by, and speaking of days gone by, I got pictures of flounder, 50 flounder off the old Jackson Beach a day. And the young fellas that come in the store said, "We used to watch you two fish on Jackson Beach Pier, catch all those fish through the years." And so we're all born not knowing, so we have to learn. And so in my age here, I'm willing to share all of this with you folks. So if you all want to get together and maybe Strike Zone or whatever, have a seminar, I'll come over and give you a talk and tell you about what I catch. Not one or two fish, why I'm catching so many fish. And there's a secret to fishing. And you got to have a bait in the water, but you got to have what they're feeding on. So anyway, hope you folks enjoy this. My daughter said, you know, YouTube and Facebook and all, they want you to make your videos a little longer. Well, I could go on for days talking about fishing because it's something I love to do, and I love sharing it with people and what I know. I sell all my Pompano rigs. I use everything natural. I'm a 15-pound test person. I use 15-pound test line. I tie my leaders out of 15-pound. I don't use shock leaders. I don't have to do that because I do a light cast. I don't do a pendulum cast. When they do that long, hard cast, I'm using a piece of clam. Clam goes one way and the sinker goes another. So they're fishing with no bait on when it hits the water. So anyway, this is just some of the secrets that I've learned through the years about catching fish. Been doing it for a long time. Got a lot of newcomers coming into it now. So I hope they learn something too from what I'm teaching you. Thanks.